Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Russ.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. Vice President Mike Pence is headed back to Billings, but it's not for any campaign.
He returns to the Treasure State next Wednesday at the invitation of Senator Steve Daines to see firsthand Montana's meth crisis.
Vice President Pence will join Senator Daines at the Riverstone Health Clinic. That's where the High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Area Task Force and the Yellowstone Substance Abuse Coalition will give a briefing.
Now, Senator Daines and the Vice President will also meet with stakeholders, local law enforcement, and other federal officials as they focus on a three-pronged approach to combating Montana's meth crisis. That approach is treatment, prevention, and enforcement.
Senator Daines has been working on legislation to address the rise in drug-addicted births here in Montana.
Montana has a crisis on its hands. Mexican meth is pouring into our state and tearing our families and communities apart. I've been fighting hard to tackle this growing issue all over our state. And I'm very grateful to welcome Vice President Mike Pence to Billings next week to continue this fight together.
Well, Wednesday's event is not open to the public.
The Billings Police Department is working out details for any delays and possible street closures. That's to be released on Monday.
Tonight we are learning more about what led to the firing of Billings Clinic CEO Dr. Randall Gibb as accusations of sexual harassment are now coming to light.
The accusations come from a former employee who says she was subject to near daily offensive sexual comments and conduct.
Q2's Andrea Lutz joining us now with more on that complaint. Andrea?
Offensive sexual conduct, comments about her weight and appearance. These are the allegations coming from a former Billings Clinic employee who worked closely with Dr. Randall Gibb. And these are the complaints outlined in a charge of discrimination to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. The woman worked as an administrative assistant to Gibb and says for over 2 years she endured gestures and sounds that were offensively sexual in nature. She says Gibb's conduct was carried out openly and loudly in the presence of other high-ranking members at Billings Clinic. Well, finally, last February, the victim was demoted from her position to a general administrative assistant, which she believes is retaliation because of her sex. In response, the attorney for Gibb sent us this statement, which reads in part, quote, "The allegations in that complaint against Dr. Gibb and the Billings Clinic are inaccurate and misleading." It reads the victim was transferred out of her position as administrative assistant because of the performance-related reasons. And the statement also says, quote, "It is unfortunate and disappointing that she now makes these allegations after she was transferred from her position." Just this afternoon, I was able to speak to the attorney for the accuser, who said since these allegations have surfaced, others have reached out and also voiced similar complaints. The discrimination charge was filed as a class action charge, meaning it could go that route. And I'm also told the victim is currently on unpaid leave from Billings Clinic. But when asked if she might want to go back to work, her attorney said he just wasn't sure about that. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Andrea.
Well, tonight, Garfield County authorities are asking for your help in identifying 3 men who police say tried to kidnap a child in Jordan.
Take a look at this image here of a green vehicle that was taken from surveillance photos. Police say that near abduction happened when 3 Hispanic males drove up in this vehicle and attempted to abduct the child.
Police in Rosebud, Bighorn, Macomb, and Garfield counties, as well as Montana Highway Patrol, are all investigating tonight. If you see this vehicle, you're asked to call 911 and write down a license plate.
A third suspect now in custody following what prosecutors are calling a drug-related gunfight in Shepherd.
The Montana Violent Offender Task Force took 34-year-old Kelly Dolman into custody last night at a laundry business on Broadwater Avenue. Now, authorities allege Dolman and 2 other men, Gregory Johnson and James Higgins, went to this Shepherd home on Bees Lane early Monday morning to confront a man about a previous drug deal.
A shootout ensued. The man inside the home was shot 3 times and a male teenager was hit once in the arm. Johnson was wounded in the shoulder. None of those injuries was life-threatening.
A Poplar man will spend the next 5.5 years behind bars for the death of a 6-month-old baby. Court records state 28-year-old Dennis Redboy was taking care of the infant in 2017. When she would not stop crying, Redboy set the baby on her back, flipped her over by the foot, and placed a heavy blanket over her. When he returned an hour later, the baby was dead. Red Boy also was sentenced to 2 years of supervised release after prison.
A Wyoming man is dead after crashing his vehicle near Highway 312 north of Billings Thursday night. The 28-year-old man was alone in the vehicle driving north on Bitterroot Drive when he reached the intersection of Dover Road. Failed to negotiate the intersection. That vehicle crashed into the embankment of the irrigation ditch and vaulted across the ditch, hit the far bank, then went into the water-filled canal and became submerged. The man died at the scene. His identity has not been released yet. Alcohol, drugs, and speed were factors in that crash.
Turning to weather, a nice cool down today. Now it looks like some storms could be popping up across our region, Bob.
Yeah, it's been a little active in the Weather Center. Let me show you what's happening out there right now. We knew this was going to happen. Remember yesterday we said this stuff was going to be out west of Billings, and today it was going to be east of Billings? Well, that seems to be the case, especially in the southeast corner of the state. We have an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms. That's the area in brown. That's usually when we get some really big thunderstorms firing up. So let me show you what we have in that area. We currently have a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock for Fallon, Carter, Powder River, and Sheridan County. And in Carter County right now, we have basically a severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock tonight for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. And that's what's happening in the extreme southeast corner of the state. I'm looking at another storm that's going an end around Miles City. It's not severe, but it does have some pretty hefty rain in it. And it looks like most of the rain in the Billings area seems to have come and gone for the moment. But take a look at this tonight. We still have in the Beartooth overnight expecting 4 to 8 inches of snow up there. So take your pick, either heavy snow showers or heavy rain showers. We got them both. We'll have the rest of your forecast in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Bob. Well, as we head into what could be another major fire season across Montana, state, federal, and local authorities are trying to get ahead of the flames. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian has more on what leaders are planning and expecting.
On Friday morning, Governor Steve Bullock met with agency leaders from around the state for an annual briefing on Montana's wildfire outlook and readiness.
There's a lot here and a lot to do.
Leaders say it's important to get all the organizations that work to fight wildfires on the same page.
No wildland fire agency can do it on its own, can succeed on its own.
Colleen Haskell, a meteorologist with the Northern Rockies Coordinating Center, said fuels in several parts of Montana are beginning to dry out. They're predicting a normal risk of fire for this summer, except in northwest Montana, where the weather has been much drier and fire danger will be higher. But a lot will still depend on what kind of weather the state gets in June and July. In 2017, leaders were predicting a quieter fire season, but it instead became one of the state's most destructive. Last year, they expected a busier season, but saw relatively few fires.
It all boils down to what we didn't get last year, and that was lightning.
Bullock agreed it's early to make assumptions about the fire season.
This is more about preparedness than predictions.
The Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation has hired and trained about 150 seasonal firefighters and trained another 3,000 local volunteers.
We've met the preparedness level that we need to meet every year, and we've got a great team of seasonals this year, so we're feeling good.
Leaders said no matter what the fire risk, it's important for the public to do all they can to avoid sparking wildfires.
And the good news is I think people are listening. We can't control when the lightning hits, but we can certainly ask people to be safe when they're in the woods.
In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
And Governor Bullock says Montana has about $38 million in the state fire fund. Leaders can access another $16 million from a state emergency fund if needed.
Well, we know those forest fires are often a danger in Montana and Wyoming, but a student at Billings Central is trying to do something to help. The junior has put in countless hours to create a method to predict and help prevent forest fires as well as other disasters. Q2's Jenny Fick has the story.
FastCat is an artificial intelligence algorithm that I created that predicts how big fires will get before they occur. And that's basically beneficial because it allows departments to have resources stationed in the areas that have the highest chance to produce really extreme fires.
FastCat utilizes a neural network model. To use such a model, you have to train it. The model learns as it solves the algorithm and as more data is put into it.
The cool thing about neural networks is that they can solve basically any problem that we have data for. So with the advent of the internet, we have access to basically unlimited data.
Dylan programmed a compilation of 3 separate databases to train the network. Information including monthly moisture, vegetation, longitude, and latitude.
The current models we use are
pretty archaic in that they were made in the 1980s.
One event in particular motivated his work.
When I was watching the news, the Paradise Fire, I just saw there was 85 people killed, and one of the kind of facts that was kind of chilling to me was that they had 30 minutes from when they were told to evacuate to when the fire was basically there. So the traffic just got really backed up and they were basically like burned alive in their car. I was just thinking, how is it then 2018 and how are we allowing this to happen? In the future, I want to make something where for flooding, predicting flooding, tornadoes, you can basically use it to predict anything.
The model could be applied internationally and at no cost, which could benefit developing countries.
This could be instantly deployed and ran completely autonomously without any human intervention.
Dylan earned a second place award at the State Science Fair and took first at MSUB's Regional Fair. This earned him a spot at the International Science Fair.
All of these kids from the other countries had to win actually at a national level in order to compete here. So like the quality of projects there was just amazing.
1,800 kids from 80 different countries were in attendance. Dylan took third in his category and returned home inspired.
All of these motivated kids solving huge problems, these huge real world problems, was something that gave me a lot of hope for our future, and it's just something that was really cool to see.
In Billings, Jenny Fick, MTN News.
Well, Dylan will continue to work on his program as an independent research class with a professor at University of Montana next year. He hopes the Forest Service will integrate the model and also hopes to someday apply it to the healthcare field using neural networks to solve and detect diseases.
Up next on Q2, there's a lot of history buried in Billings Boot Hill Cemetery, and as it turns out, more than people expected. Check out a new study underway.
And later in sports, can anything stop Steve Keller and the Montana-Wyoming All-Star Series? Apparently not. We'll explain coming up.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger, Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire, and sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 news on Q2, Montana's news leader.